All right, let's get into this. So there's been sort of this push and this a lot of buzz with especially with content creators that this could be the golden age of streaming. I'm very much of the mind that even in a crisis you got to find the silver lining. And I said this on a previous show. Successful people don't just survive a crisis; they can thrive in a crisis. They can actually make their fortune in a crisis. It's just the way it is. That's how a lot of people become successful because they see opportunities and they go for them. So this is an Indiewire article, and it says streaming wars. Which companies are built to endure coronavirus delays? It says Disney accelerates the streaming timeline with while Showtime and Netflix plan for the future. So what's interesting here, and you can see this picture right off the bat, this is Frozen 2. Okay. So Frozen 2 was just put on Disney Plus. And what I think is going to happen is a lot of these streaming services are going to go ahead and they're going to start putting content out on their streaming service, content that they would hold on to, or content that they might even, we're even getting to the point where it sounds like there might be some movies that are released on streaming platforms instead of the theaters. And of course, the longer that theaters are shut down, because theaters are shut down in many communities now, Harkins, our big local chain, has shut down. So this is going to be a path forward for a lot of these studios and companies. It's going to be a path forward for them with content that they're still sitting on, because we talked about there's production delays going on. That was my bummer thing, Dave, earlier. A lot of productions are being postponed, but they do have content they're sitting on. And this is stuff that, normally, might just get they might just release on like DVD, and they might just do on download platforms like iTunes and things like that. I think you're going to see a lot of these companies start doing this, where they're going to release content earlier on their streaming platforms, and content maybe that was never even meant to be on the streaming platform, they might put on there. The longer this whole situation, the longer that the corona situation continues, I think you're going to see more people doing this. But there definitely is a problem as far as content. That's the biggest problem right now. Is a lot of productions are shut down. So that's sort of the unfortunate thing. I'm kind of wondering if, for instance, because my understanding is, for instance, like Wonder Woman is done, and would HBO Max be so bold to go ahead and put Wonder Woman on their platform when they come out with it? Because my guess is that they're working hard to get that platform up and ready early, because they can see an opportunity here and a way for them to make money, because they're going to be losing a lot of money right now. And streaming is a way to combat this, but you have the content problem, which is what's so nice for you and me. And that's one of the reasons I pitched the idea to some of our audience if they want to try to get involved with streaming. This is the time to do it, because we can create this content like crazy. We can create content like crazy. We just need to come out and network and talk and all that kind of stuff, and we can do it. We can make the content. The studios right now are kind of shut down, so they're going to have to rely on content that they've already made. And at some point, they're going to be out of content. You know what I mean? But they have the legacy content. They have all that legacy content. They have all that IP that they're sitting on. And there are plenty of Disney things that haven't been released on Disney Plus. For instance, a lot of the classic shorts have not been released on Disney Plus, which I think is crazy. There's so many shorts. I mean, that's all Disney did for years and years and years before Snow White was shorts. So there's tons of them, just like the Looney Tunes kind of stuff. And a lot of them are not on Disney Plus. So I think that you're going to see a lot of these streaming services are going to be looking to do that. They're going to dig into the vaults. They're going to look at some of this content that they're sitting on, movies that are finished. And I think they're going to look into the possibility of putting them on their streaming platforms.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And I don't know if you I don't think we've touched on it yet, but there was that big breaking story that came out where it said basically Universal is going to be essentially going, I think it was a day and date for digital releases with what's happening right now, if I remember correctly. That was like a huge announcement. It's one of those things. It's kind of that genie in a bottle idea. this is definitely the way to go, with what's happening. But I wonder, once that genie's out of that bottle, like, how do you kind of the movie theaters are going to have to find a different way, besides being the sole place where you go see that.
Right. No,
So
absolutely. You're right.
it's
Yeah, and I think actually AMC has something. I think AMC actually does have a streaming, some sort of streaming download service. I don't think Harkins does, but I think AMC actually does. I think we even talked about it on a previous show that AMC does have some sort of a download platform. I'm just not really familiar with it because I've never used it myself personally. But Man of Stan said he would love to hear us do story ideas for movie sequels one day with the writers' room. And I think that would be a lot of fun to actually do some movie sequels. We can do our writers' room on some movie sequels. That would be fun. And he
well,
also mentioned Corona can help accelerate the takeoff of streaming, and that's exactly what my point is. Yeah.
well, Man of Stan, I do have this idea I want to pitch later, for a direct to Hulu release for a basically finale story for Space 1999. But we'll get into that later.
Oh, that would be that. There we go. That would be an interesting opportunity to do that in one of our writers' room episodes. So
yeah, for sure.
yeah, I think that'll be a fun format. And again, as we expand that, we want to have people on. Like I said, I've already approached PJ about the possibility of him joining us for a writers' room. You know what I mean? So we're going to try to keep that going. And remember, we have that offer out there that if you are interested in diving into this and trying it out, reach out to us, and we'll try to see if we will have to come up with some sort of a screening process between me and Dave, but we'll figure it out, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, I think so. And it's a good opportunity to do it, and part of the point of the Retro Rogues too is to kind of create a platform, where we can highlight
Exactly.
independent creators and the fun content that they're creating, whether it's a review show or a retro review show like we do kind of here, or even like a new, whatever it is. I mean, that's the whole goal of the Retro Rogues. So.
And we do some narrative work as well. Like Dave, you have Red Skirts right now that you're doing. I'm currently involved with the production of a film. Actually, I'm happy to say that it's actually a concept trailer. I'm happy to say all the filming is done, so we don't have to really worry about putting people on set together and all those kind of concerns at the moment. We just have to get it edited. So so my studio, if you will, Bad Bob, we're actually kind of in a decent position there because we don't really have to shoot anything right now. But yeah, everybody's got to think about it, so.
Very cool. Very cool.